Hello and welcome to this stream of Juve Therapy. It's a Friday night, and this is a Juve Therapy session. It's supposed to make us feel better, but right now it's very, very hard to do so not because Alex is with me, of course it's nice, but the situation with the results and with other current form, and the fact that we gotta dig deep against Porto in the return leg. But guys, welcome to the stream. Smash a like on this video and of course subscribe, as I always say. Say hi to Alex in the chat. Alex, aka Calcio Boy. Tell me about that name. Why did you call yourself that Calcio Boy? It sounds like you're 14.
So originally it was supposed to be I was going to be talking about Serie A in general, or like every single team, but I'm too biased as a Juventus fan and I just couldn't do it. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with like meme culture, but that boy was this frog like on a unicycle. Yes. So that originally was my inspiration, but it just kind of became my name and I'm like, I'll keep it. Couldn't think of anything else.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's creative, that's for sure, man. All right, Adam is in the chat. Nice to see you, Adam. Mark says that we suck. Well, we do. That's fine. But still hi to you. And Marco, of course, is in the chat as well. So, guys, if you have any questions to Alex, just drop them in the chat. And, of course, remember to follow his YouTube channel, because his YouTube channel is That Calcio Boy. Yeah, Alex, first question to you is, of course, from Marco, which is a perfect start. How is it going?
It could be a lot better. After the Porto game, I don't really know. I've been on Twitter a lot, been reading a lot of comments, and I don't know. It kind of sucks to be a Juventino right now, but we kind of just have to just see when, the next game, what happens.
And how did you become a Juve fan? Let's start with that.
So I was actually born in Italy. I was born in Moncalieri, so it's like right outside of Torino. Yeah. So my family is from that region, and my family's all Juventus supporters. So it just, I just had to pick Juventus. If I picked like Inter or Milan, it didn't really make any sense.
Well, you would
exactly.
You would be kicked off.
I would be an outcast.
Yes, exactly.
I would be shunned.
Thank you very much that you're actually with us. One of the good guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So Anish says hi. Nice to see you, Anish. And of course, Anish is a good guy. He is promoting my Discord channel, Discord server. Sorry. So remember also to join that server. Description link is in the description. Yeah, sorry. And Mark says that he is a big Juve fan, but it's the same story every year. I became a Juve fan in 1982 with Paolo Rossi. Well, there we go. We go way back then, Mark. I love it. But yes, unfortunately we do suck, and we will of course start off with discussing why and what do we have to do. Of course, it's very hard to pinpoint what we have to do. It's very easy if you are a football manager and playing football games, but this is reality. This is not career mode. Yes. Ronaldo is in the chat as well. Ronaldo is playing Call of Duty with his friends. Yes, and I was bashing Ronaldo about this one because apparently Pirlo got the whole squad has now the day off today, and they will be returning to training tomorrow. So I bet Ronaldo is playing Call of Duty with Dybala, Douglas Costa, freaking Arthur as well. Yeah, it is sad, but it is what it is. Alex, where are you located at the moment?
So currently I'm in New Jersey in the United
Okay.
States.
So it's United States, and of course I am located in Norway. So we are Juve worldwide, so to speak.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, it is. There we go. Adam, his family is from Veneto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, same region as Del Piero. There we go. All right, guys. Alex, let's start off with the kicker. Porto Juve. We watched that game. It was painful throughout. Well, let's just say the full 90. It didn't even matter that Chiesa scored. The performance itself was absolutely a disaster. But talk me through your thoughts about the game, and do you think we have a chance to progress, even though it's only 2-1 aggregate, but still we have to do better, much better than in the first leg.
So just to start off, I think we do stand a chance going through. But if we're to put that same kind of performance out at home, I don't expect us to go through. Everyone says it was just two specific moments, that the Betancourt mistake, and then after halftime they scored right away. But overall, there was like never a chance besides Chiesa's goal that I thought like Juventus were going to win it or even tie the game. So there's always a chance, especially with two legs in this fixture. But I don't know. I'm just not optimistic about progressing in the Champions League. And I said it before this game. I didn't really know what to expect from Porto because, as an average fan, I don't really watch them. But Juventus always go into these games the same way. It's like they don't care, or like they don't show up to play. They show up to defend, and lately they can't even defend. So I don't even know what to expect. I'm saying that Juventus can make it through, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get kicked out.
What do you think went wrong against Porto then, specifically?
I think it's a mentality thing, and I think it's also, seems to be a hot take, but I don't think Pirlo really. So Pirlo as a coach right now, I still don't even know like how to judge him, but you can see that when the squad is like, everyone's healthy and no one's injured, they play, there's some moments, some sparks that they look like a good team. But with all these injuries lately, it's like nobody knows what to do. And you saw it 2 times against Porto that players were just running into each other. And I don't even know, like that's something you see in like a pickup game, like you play with like random people or your friends, not professionals doing. So I think it has a lot to do with the tactics, and I still think this mentality from this squad, it's just like, I think it's complacency. They've won 9 years in a row and they just expect that they go on the field, they'll win the game, and it's just not how it works.
Yeah, I see your point. Yes, and it is absolutely correct. I mean, there is very little of fino alla fine mentality, the determination, the urgency, all that stuff. And we know for a fact that there are players and staff members at the club who know what it's all about. They know what fino alla fine is, but unfortunately, it's not being transformed into reality on the pitch. So basically, they don't. Chiellinis, the Buffons, even you can even throw Bonucci in there as well. Agnelli, Paratici, and so on and so on. Those guys, they know what fino alla fine is, and they work for the club, for heaven's sake. And I mean, why can't you transform? Why can't you give that feeling, of sacrifice to guys like Betancourt, for example? Betancourt has been the focus this week. Because of this awful mistake and the fact that he isn't able to, feel comfortable in the midfield in the whichever position he plays. We can put him on the deep lying playmaker. He works there, but only when Arthur is playing next to him. But if we put Bentancur in the box-to-box Ahmed Salah position, then he suddenly looks awkward there as well, getting silly yellows and so on and so on. It is a very, very complicated story. But after 56 or 58 seconds even, we conceded because of exactly Bentancur. And right from that moment on, Alex, what did you expect was going to happen?
I expected us to just keep conceding. I expected the game to end like 3-0 in favor of Porto because
wow,
in that kind of moment, like, you know, you never go into a game and you're prepared to concede immediately. And you could see immediately, like, you saw his face, like, he just looked like he was like shocked, like Betancourt, like he didn't know what just happened. And as you almost feel defeated, especially like right away in that moment, you just make a horrible pass and you're already losing 1-0. I just expected Juventus to lose. When they scored the away goal, I was shocked because it just kept looking worse and worse. Once Chiellini came off, you know, Demiral came on, but it was just like it went from bad to worse. And then you started seeing those moments like De Ligt, for example. He kept holding onto the ball for like 20 seconds and like gesturing, like telling players to move because no one was like players were just standing and there was no movement. There was nothing. So honestly, I was like hopeless after the first minute. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
You know what I expected? I actually expected, by the way, and we have to say hi to the chat. Sarah says hi. Nice to see you, Sarah. Just drop your questions to Alex right here, and me as well. We talk Juve here. We talk, well, basically not only Juve. We can talk about anything you want, guys. But there's only, the main issue here is that Juve are in trouble. And also, Simon Blano is in the chat. Always a pleasure. Marco is, leaving, and then he's coming back later. I see. Okay, so nice to see you, Sarah, by the way. I didn't see your name before here in this channel, so it's always a pleasure to see new people joining. You know what? I thought when we conceded that first goal, I thought, here we go. This will be a wake-up call for the guys, because when you concede, this is not Juve. I don't remember a single time in my Juve fan career that we conceded that early and looked so asleep. And so once we did that, I thought, okay, here we go. This will be a wake-up call. But it never happened. The first half looked flat. Our midfield looked completely uninterested and looked like they played for their first game together, which was horrible. And we'll come into Cristiano as well in a short while. But the fact that we conceded the first goal out of 58 seconds or something, I thought, okay, this will be a wake-up call. It's not going to happen again. But you know what? That happened again.
Yep.
In the second half. The same exact thing. But, of course, not with Bentancur, but the same mentality meltdown. They were switched off, basically. And when that happened, I was like, what? This is not Juve I'm watching. This is Siena or Cesena or something, with black and white stripes. Yeah. Well, this was actually orange kits, so I don't know, something else. But the thing is, the mentality, Alex. This is where the issue is. First of all, the quality of the players. Yes, we can argue that Rabiot is not good enough, Bentancur is not good enough, but the mentality needs to be there. I mean, this is Champions League knockout stages.
And I was saying something. I made a video prior to the game, and I was saying how Juventus always goes into these games like with the same kind of mentality. They always want to be underdogs. That's the only time they thrive in these games. And something that a lot of people have been pointing out is I feel like the team is almost like last year, the same with under Sarri. Like it almost feels like we're watching the same team, and it's like it's a completely different coach. He's supposed to have brand new ideas, but there's these moments that it's like, what are you guys doing? It just, I don't understand it.
Yeah. And I mean, we have also, if we're looking at the bigger picture, we must remember that Pirlo's first season at the club, he doesn't have anything, on his CV, basically. It's flat. It's a blank page. There is nothing there. He has a great career as a player, but we have to separate those two. Great player doesn't exactly mean that he will be a great coach.
Yep.
Look at, for example, Clarence Seedorf. Freaking half a season at Milan, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah.
Great player. Andrei Shevchenko, great player for Milan as well. And I think he's coaching Ukraine national team.
Yeah.
Ukraine, yeah. But, I mean, should be something more since you've been a great player.
Yep.
And I don't even want to talk about Diego Maradona. I mean, rest in peace, legend.
Yeah.
But still, he
was not a good coach.
He was not a good coach.
In the Middle East, he kept coaching.
Yes, and I think he actually coached the Argentinian national side in the World Cup.
Oh yeah, I believe
as well.
So,
This is not exactly the answer. Is that if you have automatically a great player doesn't mean automatically a great coach. And yes, Aidan is also. I will highlight that one. He says that he loves Pirlo, but he has less experience than Lampard at Chelsea, which is a good point. And this is also even frightening. That, well, you can argue whether Pirlo was a better player than Lampard and so on, but. Yeah, the fact that we appointed Pirlo, even Alex, is a big surprise. And I know what were your thoughts about that appointment?
So I was like split. At first, I was like, I thought this was just like, I don't even know what to say. I think that Juventus at first, they only did it because he was a good player. The fans loved him, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna bring a loved player, and then suddenly everyone's gonna love him as a coach. He's gonna do so well. And then I kept thinking, and I'm like, oh, maybe this is just like the start of a project. Like they always say, rejuvenation, and it's going to take a few years. But I don't know what Pirlo did to even convince them that he's the man for this project. So right now, I'm honestly not on his side, and I haven't been on his side since the beginning because. I feel like we have such a strong squad besides the midfield, and Pirlo he doesn't have the experience, but I don't see his ideas. I feel like every time Juventus go out, it's like a different team play. Sometime, or we'll like hold on to possession a lot and we just don't create chances, or one game we'll just sit back the whole game, but then we won't even try to score. It's like, I don't know. So like at this point, I don't know how I feel about Pirlo.
Yeah. For me, it's also I'm a little bit split. Anish says that he doesn't have the maestro players, especially in the midfield, except Arto. Yes. So this is also a thing with COVID and without the revenue, we do not have the money to give Pirlo whatever he wants, if he even wants anything. But if we even are going in that direction and we're keeping Pirlo for next season, we need to back him up. If we're going with Pirlo for next season, we have to. I mean, we cannot continue with the same lineup, with the same players. We have to back him up financially as well, as far as it may be done, as far as possible. But the appointment itself was a very surprise to me because, of course, he was a rookie. I didn't know anything about the guy. I didn't even know what formation he liked. And then his thesis showed up, appeared on online, and I was like, okay, so if we are basing his tactics on his thesis, fine, let's play off with that one. But then he started to mix things up and being a bit more creative. But then it really didn't work. It worked at times. I mean, we have to remember the games against Barcelona, 3-0 away. It's a great game, but then a defensive game, right? It was Gigi Buffon commanding the whole lineup.
Yeah, we were all over the place.
We were basically all over the place going forward, but in the defense, yes, I mean, defense was safe. We won 3-0. The same thing can be said about the Roma game, not so long ago, 2-0, I think. Yeah. And then as well, we had good moments. Against Merda, we won against Merda in the Copa semifinal. For some strange how did that happen? But we still did win. And the 0-0. I mean, it's we have flashes of something that we can look forward to. But Unfortunately, there was only flashes and glimpses of the future, what we may see. And breaking news from Monblano, my good friend Davide from the last week's Juve therapy session. He's basically not the Monblano we are making fun of Monblano by calling this guy Monblano, but Aouar is coming to Juve this summer at 50 million. Well, that's not going to happen because we don't have money, Monblano. So go check your sources. Unfortunately, Arnold says he was supposed to coach under 23 to learn. Yes, and that was the thing, Alex. That's where it started with Pirlo, right?
But the thing that I don't understand with that is, there's like an interview that he stated he does not want to coach youth players.
Exactly.
So the appointment to the under 23 didn't even make sense to begin with. So I kind of feel like it was planned. I feel like they appointed him, and I think they sacked Sadi after they appointed him, right?
Yeah, it could very well be, yeah.
And then they promoted him after.
It was very quick. It was very quick. Sadi was fired, and then Pirlo was appointed. It was very quick progression. Yeah. Yes, yes, indeed. And that was also a very strange comment to me. You're absolutely right. It was I don't want to coach youngsters. I want to coach first team. Well, but then it's very ironic because our team is full of youngsters. We have Bentancur, Chiesa. Remember, one of the best players this season actually. Is remember 22. Yes, Matthijs de Ligt, even though he looks like he's 29 30 years old playing back there, but he is only 21 or something. So we have an insane transition in the squad, and why does he want to work with the adults, so to speak? I don't know, and that also is a comment you perfectly well explained it. It is weird. It is weird, yes.
And he keeps promoting players from the youth academy also. Yes. So if he was against coaching them, he's essentially coaching them now by bringing them up. So
but then again, I mean, it's people can make mistakes, right? So he probably looked at this from the outside and thought, and I'm going to coach youngsters. Youngsters are not that professional. Maybe there are a lot of out of the pitch issues you need to take care of, but with older players you kind of can focus on the real deal. Now he kind of has to work with the youngsters because of the COVID. You know, we have not the squad to really compete all the way in the top European level. So we bring in Frabotta, we bring in guys like Raffia, we bring in guys like Fagioli, even Dragozin, right? So yes.
Speaking about him, though, he still hasn't renewed his contract.
No, he hasn't.
And they're talking about that he's like open to talk to other clubs, and
yes,
that's a bit concerning. Why are Juventus waiting on that? You know.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And we will have to see what happens in a couple of next months, because we have several contracts. Remember, we haven't even re-signed Chiellini.
Yeah,
he's on the outgoing contract after this season, and
Buffon
as well. So I think these deals are just waiting, to be happening. And with Dragozin, if he's leaving, and I mean, it is what it is. We can't just focus on those things. But we will go to the chat again, and let's see. Simar. Also, a big thing was a very short preseason. So the things that were supposed to happen in the preseason couldn't happen. And players didn't fully get to know Pirlo's vision, and we are seeing the results. What do you think of that, Alex? Do you agree?
So I agree, but at the same time, we're almost in March. And I feel like the team at this point has had time to understand his ideas a bit. And I don't know. I feel like the main thing we've seen from this team is we like to hold possession, and we love to play out from the back. Besides that, I don't really know. Pirlo has this hybrid 4-4-2, 3-5-2, where one of the center backs moves up. I don't know. To me, he's a brand new coach, and I understand he wants to bring out his ideas, but I feel like he should have kept it a lot simpler and just try to build off of that and then in time grow into these ideas. And instead, I feel like he just threw his ideas out. And then I feel like that's part of the problem because of not having the preseason. A lot of these players, maybe didn't buy into it or not able to buy into it. And so you need more time to grow on these ideas. But then again, I'm not the coach and I don't know what's happening. So,
well, there were several players that said actually that this is a different season to what there was with Sarri. So what do they mean by that? I don't know, but I'm sure they mean well. I'm sure they're more enthusiastic about Pirlo's tactics and Pirlo's way of working, which is understandable because several of these guys, they played with Pirlo, so they know him, and the ideas of Pirlo are much more digestible, so to speak. You can digest those ideas much more than with Sarri. Sarri was just smoking on the sidelines.
Yeah,
and
he was
writing his grocery list.
Yeah,
it was a sad season, and we have to even go even before that, Alex. I mean, where do you think it all started to go wrong? Because let's face it, we haven't played well for at least 2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
So where do you think it started?
I think it was.
I have a theory, by the way, but I'll let you start.
I think the key moment that really sticks out to me that I think things started to change was that Bonucci Juventus Porto game.
Yeah.
With Bonucci being sent to the stands, and then the following season he was sold, and then he was brought back. So I feel like already at that point there was some kind of shift. I'm gonna say one thing though. I don't agree with Allegri getting sacked. I think Allegri was a coach. Yeah, I think Allegri was a coach that he always made do with the players he was given, and he never actually got the players he wanted. This is my opinion. And then we have like Sarri and we have Pirlo people are like, oh, give them the players they want. But I don't feel like Allegri ever was given the players he wanted. And so why are we focusing on these two coaches? I don't think we got the players Sarri wanted, but for example, when people say give Pirlo the players he wants, why? Why didn't we do it with Allegri?
Mm.
And I know people say he was too defensive. It was an attacking style, but Juventus never in their history was an attacking side. They were always known for defensive teams, great defenses. If you want to go play tiki-taka or you want to play like Guardiola style, get Guardiola then.
If you want to have entertainment, go watch Circus.
Exactly. Like Juventus is not that team. And just because we have Ronaldo doesn't mean we're suddenly going to become this super ultra offensive team. It's not how it works.
I like your answer, Alex, because this is like the first part of my theory. Before we go to my part, I just have to say hi to Rohit. It's always a pleasure to have him on in the chat. He says 3-5-2 thrives on wing play, but we are too slow to get the ball to flanks. We take extra touches before passing to flanks. In that time, a position gets organized and then back pass. Yes, this is basically the whole story. Same story we've been saying throughout, even last year.
Even under Conte.
Even under Conte, exactly. Yes, and he was playing 3-5-2.
Yep, and we never had the right wing backs for Conte. We had Asamoah and we had Lichtsteiner, or Paduin on one side, or Giacobi. It wasn't. Yeah. Those are not the type of players you need for those kind of formations.
Yes. So my theory is on the 31st. I wrote it down because it's a huge theory. So we ended the season of 2017-2018. We ended that season as a Scudetto winners. Of course, we had the following midfield, and this is going to be very, very sad, Alex. So brace yourself. This is Miralem Pjanic, Sami Khedira, first season of Rodrigo Bentancur, Marchisio, Matuidi, Sturaro, and Asamoah. This was the midfield. Then, 10th of July, 2018, so after that season, during the summer, a certain Cristiano Ronaldo showed up. 31st of October, So basically, what, August, September? Yeah, well, 3 months basically later, Giuseppe Marotta terminates his contract, and that got me thinking, why? And then I started to really to think about it. What was the point? I never saw Marotta with Cristiano together. I didn't see Marotta celebrate this purchase the way Nedved did, the way Agnelli did, the way Paratici did. So when it all started, in my opinion, is when we bought Cristiano. Bear in mind, I'm not saying that Cristiano is the cancer of the whole thing. That's not the point. The point is we had 100 million to spend that summer. We had apparently 30 million a year in wages to spend. Of course, we can argue the fact that we only have those 30 because of the future prognosis of investment in terms of revenue from T-shirts and sales of merchandise, basically because of Cristiano. Yeah. So I get that, but we never addressed the real issue, which was the midfield, in my opinion. 2018-2009 season, Cristiano came. Before that season, Cancelo came, Bonucci came back, Emre Can. That's it. And of course, we sent Higuain out on loan. So basically, we did not strengthen the midfield. The midfield was the same, more or less, with Emre Can coming in. 2019, 2020, Rabiot, Ramsey, declining Pjanic, still in the side. Higuain returning after crappy season with Milan and Chelsea. Still no significant creativity going forward, assisting Cristiano with scoring goals, with creating chances, because Cristiano was the main man. And Rabiot is not an offensive player. We know this. He has his runs, but this is not his strength. Ramsey, we got him on a free transfer, and I get why. Because we cannot trust a player who's that injury prone.
Yep.
So this is the reality. I mean, if we go all the way back to 2017-2018 season, if you have a chance to sign Cristiano, you sign Cristiano. You have to. This is just unwritten rule, as they say. But what if we didn't and use that money to actually strengthen the midfield, to renew, to send out Khedira, to ship off Marquisio as much as we loved him? He was injured. He was never going to be the same Marquisio again. Matuidi, I mean, those guys. We needed something else for the future. We needed the new Paul Pogba, so to speak. And then we signed Cristiano, and Cristiano only thrives if he has support. Right now he struggles because he has no support. So for me, personally, this is why I think Marotta left, and the whole thing started to become more heavy and heavier. And with Allegri, he didn't like that transfer, I think. That was hard for him to manage a team who would be which were relying slowly on Cristiano.
Yep.
He left. Sarri is just, a gap. I mean, there is nothing there.
Yeah.
He didn't fit the Juve style, the mentality and all that. And now it's Pirlo. And of course, we did know that COVID was going to happen. But it almost seemed like Marotta did because of the financial situation. If it hasn't been for Cristiano, maybe we could afford somebody now. But you never know. Maybe we hadn't win. Maybe we couldn't even win the Scudetto if we didn't have the Cristiano. I don't know. But this is maybe this is the core. Marotta left, and with Marotta being out, is far more vital for us than Allegri leaving, in my opinion. As much as we can hate Marotta for not being able to sell players, but he was certainly good at getting them.
I see your point. The only issue I have with that is I would say that Marotta at Inter hasn't really done anything that he did at Juventus in the first few seasons under Conte. Because when he was here, the first season under Conte, you had Vidal come in. I feel like Marotta has never made a signing close to that. or like as influential. But
the thing with that is that remember, we have a COVID situation here. We have no money.
of course,
There is no
right
money. So this is the thing. But I get your point, because Marotta was an excellent guy to have when you're gonna get those bargain deals.
Exactly, for cheap.
Yes.
But I feel like I think I kind of agree with that whole theory you have. The only thing that you keep saying is we don't have money, but the thing that I want to point out is look how much money that we potentially owe on Chiesa and Morata. That's like 120 million between the both of those, and that's, you know, if we don't have that money, I feel like, I mean, I love Morata. I loved him when he was here in his previous stint, and Chiesa is really showing that he's a great player. But that's a lot of money for two players that are not midfielders.
Yeah.
But
do you think Chiesa was a necessary buy or loan?
I'm gonna say no, but at the same time, I don't think I would reverse the deal because he's proving to be so key in the side. I feel like he's a luxury because, for example, like you get rid of Douglas Costa, and Douglas Costa hasn't really done much, but Juventus don't really have wingers in this side. If you think about it, it's like Chiesa and maybe Kulusevski. And then, so you can't even play like a 4-3-3 because you don't have that option. But I don't know. I like Chiesa though, so I wouldn't reverse the deal. I just don't know if it was necessary. I feel like we could have done better if we got, you know, a midfielder for that price to really make a difference. Because look at our options right now. We have nobody.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good point. And also if we move a little bit further and look at the future, we have guys that we can potentially sell and potentially get some money for. But there's again a thing with COVID and no money, and not only for Juve. I mean, if you look at Liverpool, they loaned the player in January.
Didn't they loan both defenders?
Probably yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there are very few clubs out there who can spend money on players. So if we are looking for, let's just say it like it is. Let's say we sell Dybala after this summer, and yes, Dybala. If we sell Dybala now during the summer, how much money do you think we will receive in return? I don't think it will be that sustainable. I don't think it will be that much. 30 at max. Also remember his season
last year, contract. Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
He has been. I mean, Sami Khedira has done more for us by getting out of here. And with Dybala, who would want? If I'm PSG, I'm looking at, okay, I have a great squad. I have Icardi, I have Mbappe, I have freaking Moise Kean, I have Julian Draxler off the bench. I have insane offensive lineup. Why do I need Di Maria? Why do I need Dybala? And an injury-prone Dybala. If I'm Barcelona, why do I need Dybala? I'm rejuvenating my side. So Messi is the only. I mean, we're throwing money at Messi, but they have Trincao, young players coming through. Why do I need a Dybala? Again, injury-prone. So I don't think we will be able to sell him for as much as we want him to sell, for 90 or 60, as Rohit says. Dybala should be at 60 or 90. But that's not going to happen.
I think the max we get is like 50.
Could be, yeah. And then we'll be lucky.
I think what we might end up seeing, if we don't renew his contract, I think we've put him in some kind of swap.
Yeah.
Like kind of like what we did with Pjanic to Barcelona, because no one was going to give us that kind of money for Pjanic. So, you know,
they're lucky with that one.
For real, like I liked Pjanic in his initial first few years, but he really regressed. And defensively, he's a liability. He's a regista like Pirlo when Pirlo was 35. He offers you nothing defensively.
Yeah. Sayantan says, I think we should sell Cristiano. It may sound sour to many. Well, To be honest, Santan, I would be surprised that it may sound sour because maybe not this season. I don't know, but we need to get moving forward. We need to move forward without thinking about Cristiano. So, Alex, let me ask you this. Just go straight to the point. I mean, do we renew his contract after this season, or are we trying to sell him? Remember, again, if we do sell him, we have nobody who can score the goals.
So I don't think it's possible to sell him, especially a year after COVID. If nobody has money now, nobody will have money in the summer, unless the stadiums start opening. I think we should not renew him, though. I think we keep him for one more year, and that's it. I think that although he's crucial and he scores a lot of goals, I feel like that's the problem. The squad relies too heavily on him, and if you're moving towards this new like phase of youth players and this new style of football, I feel like he's not the person to have in the squad, because then you'll continue to build around him and build for him, and that's, if you're going to be moving away from him, it's suicide, in the sense that you're just going to keep adding players to make him score, and then what happens when he's gone? Who scores? Like you said, we have no one.
No. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Seymour says Cristiano might leave if we don't progress at the end of the season. That's what he said in the beginning. Well, I don't think he said that, Seymour. But the fact with Cristiano is that he knows his value. I think he does. There is no question about it. But we also, I see more and more now this season as the games progress and as we get more and more into the season, I see that Cristiano is more and more frustrated. And against Porto, we come back to this game now. We did not see Cristiano where he needs to be all the way up front. He was down in the midfield and picking up the ball, and he didn't play very well to begin with. But I mean, this is not his fault even, because nobody else was creating anything. So he needed to do that job for himself. So yes, this is the start of something very, very bad, which is if Cristiano cannot score, and with Morata is having the flus, and I don't know what else he has, but yeah, there is nobody, because Dybala is MIA.
And then everyone like suddenly thinks that once Dybala's in the squad that he's gonna be like the savior. He's not match fit. There was a report that I saw yesterday that they were saying they were scared that Dybala, if he kicks a ball, he's gonna re-injure himself.
Yes.
If he's that out of shape, like, you probably can't even rely on him at all this season. We're already going into March.
Yes, and I think the report today was that he has no pain whatsoever, so he will be featuring against Crotone. But then again, what does that mean? Yep. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, okay. But we tried this with Dybala during the Lazio game. We tried it with Dybala earlier on before the Christmas break. We still waited for Dybala to arrive and really to showcase his abilities from last season and the season before. And it didn't happen. So the question is, how much more time do we need to give to Dybala to prove himself? And remember, we don't even want to talk about the contract extension, because he doesn't deserve it at this point, to be honest.
I don't think we can give him much time. Just like every other player we're so quick to throw under the bus, like Bernadeschi or Khedira's constantly injured. Dybala is becoming one of these players. If he comes on the field and he proves again that he can reach the form that he had previously, but I don't know. Even under last year under Sarri, he won MVP, but he still didn't feel like the same player that like when he
wasn't my MVP.
So like when we had him under Allegri, he was scoring like 20 goals a season, and then it just started slowly going downhill. And I don't understand, because I loved Dybala, but you can only defend a player so long when he's not performing. And this season, you could say he got COVID 3 times and all the injuries, and it takes a lot on your body. But it's like, do we renew his contract? for the money that he wants, and then he does nothing.
Yeah.
It's hard because he's also the number 10. Since Del Piero left, the number 10 has been cursed.
Wow.
Besides Tevez.
Carlos Tevez, yeah, I was going to say.
But
Yeah.
Pogba,
Yeah.
Pogba leaves, then Dybala gets it, and then Dybala, like...
Yeah, Dybala has been... He was good the first season, I got to say. The first season, maybe the second season, but the rest has been injury-prone, and of course, when Cristiano came, everything changed, in my opinion. It was never the same again with Dybala. But with... if you renew the contract for Dybala, it's like you're getting a hot girlfriend, and you just ask and the only thing that she does is just sit there on the couch and does nothing. But you have a hot girlfriend, so you're happy with that. But she doesn't do anything for you. She doesn't cook. She doesn't make you happy. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything for you. So this is the situation with Dybala. If we are renewing his contract, if we're giving him 10 or 15 million or whatever he wants. Which is crazy money, by the way.
But the excuse I don't like is how everyone, especially Dybala, keeps saying how he loves Juventus so much, that he wants to stay here forever. But then we don't know.
That's fine. He has the desires. That's fine.
But the thing we don't know is this 15 million that's being reported really what he wants? Because if he loves the club, but he's holding out for money, then you don't really love the team. Because if that's the case, you would lower what you want. I mean, 10 million or 15 million, 5 million difference. Is he going to starve? No, that's crazy money.
Yeah.
It's crazy money.
Yeah, it is, especially now. It is indeed. Aidan, nice to see you, my friend. He still doesn't know why we let Ken go so easily. Well, plus Valenza, the opportunity was there to gain some money, maybe, in my opinion. He may have done poorly in Everton. That was no surprise to me, by the way. But he is back in top team in PSG and bossing it out. And Rohit makes a good question there. Good counter comment. Keane is a different case. Everybody scores in PSG. Moise Kean, Alex. Well, his situation. What do you think? Why do you think we sold him?
I think we sold him simply, like you said, just to get some kind of like a profit. He had 1 year left on his contract. He was doing well at the time, and I honestly was against selling him because we only got like 20 million for him, and I feel like if you're an English striker, you're suddenly 40 million. So I feel like we could have gotten more for him, but he didn't do well at Everton, and he's doing well in PSG in France. But honestly, France I don't think it's like a tough league.
Well, I mean, the thing that surprised me the first is actually that he is playing for PSG, because the transfer was the last day in a transfer market. Moise Kean going from Everton on loan to PSG. I believe it's on loan. And,
dry loan. He can no buyback or anything.
And that surprised me a lot, because this is a young guy who fails in a new club. So why would PSG go for him? So if we have some PSG fans in the chat, please let me know, why did you get Ken? Because it seems like this was a masterclass of a transfer, because he's working for them, and he played well against Barcelona, which is fascinating, and also how they played, how he played. He's matured immensely in the last 2 years. And still, though, he loves the club apparently, so which is good.
Is Leonardo still the?
I think so.
Okay, that's probably why. Then he buys everyone from Serie A.
Yeah, it's true. Yes. By the way, yes, Icardi. I would love to have Icardi at Juve at some point. Actually, it will be interesting to see him play, because he's a baller. He scores goals for wherever he goes. If you look at the stats from Icardi, he scores, whether you like his off the pitch stuff or not. But here's a striker that you can put next to Cristiano if you're crazy, if you have crazy money. It'll be Icardi for me.
My problem with that is he's another player that you have to feed him chances, and if we can't even feed Ronaldo chances, I don't see us
that's a good
feeding
point. Yeah.
Icardi chances.
Cristiano is 36, says Seymour. I need the forward to partner up. Yes, with his, he's not a Man U Ronaldo. No, he isn't. Who can dribble past 5 players and still score. This is why we became more lively when Morata came. Yes, at the start, and that is also a thing to discuss, Alex. It's an interesting point there. Why do you think we started fresh with Morata and Cristiano, and then now suddenly it's just flat. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Why? Is it because Morata is suddenly out of form? Is it because Morata?
I don't think it's just him. But
and there's also a question: is Cristiano that reliable of another striker that he cannot work without another striker? Is actually Cristiano that good? That bad that he needs an extra striker to help him to score goals? So that's an interesting theory, actually.
So I'll answer that one first. It's going to be a hot take, but I think he does. I think Ronaldo has severely regressed as a player, and he can easily score probably 20 goals a season at least. But if you've been watching the games, some games he takes like 5-6 shots and it's not even close to like a goal, or he just keeps shooting, and it's like I feel like he's at the point that he just wants to score, not even if the team wins. He just wants to score. And to go back on the like, why are we so out of form? I think it's just the fact that we've been playing so many games nonstop, and specifically with Morata. Morata is really a player that he works off of confidence, and you see that like when he starts not scoring, he like puts his head down and he runs. At Chelsea, the same thing happened. Atletico, there was a period that he didn't do too well. At Real Madrid, even. And I feel like Morata has only been able to score so much at Juventus because I think he just has some kind of connection and confidence in the club. But he just came back from injury, and he was out for like a while, wasn't he? A month or two.
Yes.
So I think he's just out of form, and if he does have the flu and it's only the flu, you can't your body can't recover from that. Like there's no way he's ever gonna go back into form until he recovers from that.
Rohit mentions the Cancelo deal, and Pierre follows up that we could use a guy like Cancelo right now. Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. When Danilo was traded, I thought it was a horrible deal. But Danilo this season is showing why they made the trade. The guy, without him right now, I think we would be in even worse shape. He can be your left back, your right back, a center back. He can do everything. And we saw even against Napoli, he was moving into like as a midfielder at times. So maybe Cancelo from the left-hand side, yes. But Cuadrado is doing a good enough job on the right, and I don't think Cuadrado would be replaced by Cancelo.
Yeah. So if we have an alternative to Cancelo, so basically Alphonso Davies, that would be fine.
Yeah, but I would think more defensive. I think Davies is a great player, but I feel like the main thing that people love about him is how fast he is. Like Alexandro right now, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's been playing well at all.
No, he hasn't been playing well for a while, especially offensively. I mean, defensive, he's better defending rather than attacking. We can agree on that because we see that he's, instead of when he has acres of space going forward, he just stops and plays a support pass.
Yep.
Which is annoying.
If that's going to be the case, have Danilo go more offensive and have Alexandro be the more defensive player.
And with Danilo, in fact, it's not only in that game that you mentioned, it also recently we've seen that Danilo has been playing like more of in a midfield kind of form. So which is also looks very confusing to me, and maybe also to players even. Where do they play? Because Danilo in the midfield, what's going on? It's like very unusual thing to see, but it hasn't been that bad.
It hasn't been, but the thing that bothers me with that, it feels like Pirlo's trying to be Guardiola 2.0. That's what Cancelo's doing at City. He's like, and that's what Kimmich did at Bayern. He went from and Lahm also. So all these ideas, they're they're great if they work, but I don't know.
Mohammed says that the stuff with Cristiano happens only when he's not getting the ball from the midfield. That is true, but we didn't change the midfield during the season. The midfield has been there the same. The only thing that's different from beginning of the season to now is that Morata is now suddenly out of form, and of course the fact that we kind of figured out what is our best lineup in the midfield, which looks like to be McKennie, Arthur, and Bentancur. But Rabiot seems to be more and more comfortable as the days go by, which goes back to the question: do you play Bentancur, Rabiot, and Arthur, and just scrap McKennie for a while? But let's talk about McKennie, Alex, and the purchase or the loan again, because this is of course a loan deal.
Yeah.
How surprised were you? And do you actually think that he is that good, that he deserves to start at such a big club as Juve?
So although I live in the United States, I do not know anything about American soccer or American football. I don't know anything about it. So when I heard of McKennie, I didn't know who he was. And I was kind of curious because he's coming from a team that's aren't they in relegation zone right now? In the Bundesliga, I'm pretty sure. But I think I think he's doing well, but I don't know. The last couple of games he's been, he doesn't even look like he's playing. His passing is all over the place. He keeps trying to push forward because that seems to be the thing that Pirlo wants from him, to make those runs in between the center backs. But he looks crazy out of form, and they keep saying he has a hip injury. As a backup, I say he's great, but I don't see him starting if we get better players.
Do you think he looks only good? I made that point on the post-match against Porto, that he only looks good because our midfield is so crap.
I say so. I agree, but I think he still looks crap without Arthur.
Yes.
Once Arthur's in the squad, it looks completely different. Because Arthur's been out of the games, and McKennie, he hasn't been performing.
Do you think that Arthur is actually our most important player?
Maybe in midfield, yes. I wouldn't say for the team. I think the most important right now is Cuadrado.
Really?
Yeah, and you know it's funny. I'm not the biggest Cuadrado fan.
Why Cuadrado?
12 assists. He's
well, yeah. Okay.
He's been the only thing every time. So of our defenders, besides Danilo, but Danilo doesn't really do it. He's the only one that can cross. Alexandro can't cross. Frabotta,
Chiesa can cross.
Yeah, but more our left backs and right backs. Chiesa's more like a winger.
Okay, interesting. I never thought you were going to say Cuadrado. That's surprising. Okay, fair enough. Fair play. Azijon says that he wants De Ligt to be the captain next season. He was screaming on Szczesny after he did a few mistakes. I saw that, Azijon. I saw that. And that was... well, I wouldn't say it was refreshing, but actually, yes, it was. It was refreshing to see that fact that people are screaming at each other, which is always refreshing when things are not going good, aren't doing great. Also, he was doing long passes on Uncle Bonucci. Yeah. I mean, De Ligt, we cannot say anything bad about the guy, can we, Alex?
No, he's my favorite player currently on this squad. I just hope that no one activates his release clause, because otherwise he's going somewhere else. But he's only being 21. I think he's our most important, in terms of going forward, I think he's going to be the most important player. I agree with that. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes captain, but as long as Bonucci and Chiellini are in the squad, I don't see him getting it above them, especially if Pirlo's the coach.
Well, you know what's the interesting thing is that freaking Alexandro gets the armband once Chiellini gets off the pitch, not De Ligt. But then again, I also made that point previously. What does that piece of fabric really mean? I mean, this is only a piece of fabric you put here and this says you're a captain. But what does it actually mean? He's still a leader.
Yep.
De Ligt is still here. De Ligt still has the license to scream at Szczesny and to bark out orders. Buffon does that without even having the captain's armband.
Yeah.
So my question to, not especially to you, Alex, but in general, like, what does this captaincy really mean? We have guys like Quadrado, Alexandro. Well, I'm sorry to say, Daniele Rugani had the captain's armband against Novara at the friendly. What's up with that? I mean, this is basically a seniority contest. So if you are senior level, you get the captain's armband. That's it. That's all it means.
I mean, Dybala's the captain too. So when you think about it,
yes,
like he's had, and I've always thought of the captain's armband as, like, in my opinion, it should be a defender or your goalkeeper. It should be someone that's like setting up your defensive line, that is going to bark, and basically tell everyone to get in their place. But like you said, right now it's seniority, and if Bonucci's captain, then I think it says it all, because Bonucci, in my opinion, should not be the captain. He should not be telling anybody what to do.
Well, his ass tells us everything we need to know.
Exactly.
So, yeah. The captain's armband will give him more confidence as Andy. I don't think De Ligt needs more confidence. This guy is a unit, Andy.
Yeah.
He's an absolute tank. So, yeah, but it's a funny one. Gladiator Man. Yes. I mean, let me highlight. Sorry, Pierre, but I got to highlight this one. Rugani, yes. He did wear the armband against Novara. We won 5-0. It was the only friendly we had this preseason, so-called preseason. And Rugani had the armband for like 20 minutes or so. Man, that was a weird moment. Oof.
And if you think about like someone who's going to tell people what to do, I don't think Rugani says anything.
Well, you can only hear the pitched voice. Beep, that's Rugani. Right now he's playing for Cagliari, so I wish him luck. I mean, that's the thing, with these young guys that are not playing for Juve consistently. Bernardeschi, for example, right? Let's touch on Bernardeschi real quick. This is a guy who's never going to play consistently for Juve, so leave. Go to Cagliari, Fiorentina. Go back to Fiorentina if they want you back. Go to, I don't know, Bologna, Parma. You will play consistently, and you'll be happy, but you'll be better off it.
Yep.
But that's not the thing. I don't know, Bernardeschi, is he your favorite? I hope not.
So I was so happy when we got him.
No, don't say.
When we got him, I thought he was going to do so much better. I didn't expect what he's doing now.
And you know why? Because of the money we spent on the guy.
Yep. 40 million, and honestly, I think it's I think there's too much pressure on him. I think he just can't live up to it. And honestly, I think the reason he's not leaving is money.
How much does he earn?
I don't even know, but I probably like 3-4 million. But I feel like other teams are not willing to match it because he's done. What has he done?
I bet, you know what? I bet they have a Juve at and Continassa in the basement there. They have a music room.
Oh, yeah, for him to play guitar?
Especially for Bernardeschi. And Quadrado to dance off the tunes. Yeah. But yeah, it is sad. It is sad how it's become. And with Bernardeschi, there were high hopes. But as you said also, this was a young guy. Italian, and as soon as you're a young Italian and you're sort of talented, your price goes up. Your club, your mother club, thinks that you are the next coming of Cristiano or Messi.
Yeah.
So you're gonna bump up the price, and rightly so, because it's been doing great things for you. But this is a classic Kulusevski moment as well. A big fish in a small pond, like for Parma. Now Kulusevski is struggling for Juve. The same thing with Bernardeschi. Good for Fiorentina. Average at best for Juve.
With him too, that the thing I don't understand is every time he plays for Italy, he scores or he has a great performance. So I don't understand why just at Juventus he's really struggling.
Yeah, and this is also a comment from Adam perfectly well. Berna plays good for the Azzurri, so explain why.
I really think it's a mentality. I think the club is too big, and there's just too much pressure for him because they've said how he has changed also physically. Like he became a lot like leaner and like more like muscular, but in his terms of play, I see him doing one thing: he passes the ball back always. Like he never takes the ball on, and he's like, I mean, he was supposed to be like a trequartista kind of winger and be creative. I don't see any creativity coming from him.
Yeah, that is
he
true.
Keeps it simple, like passes it back, passes it to the right, left.
Yeah, Bernardeschi is a classic example of a low confidence player. He needs constant feedback, positive feedback, and I'm guilty of that as well. I was the same player as well. Constant feedback that you're doing things well, you are okay, you are good enough. You have to feel good about yourself in order to perform well.
Yeah.
And with Bernardeschi, I remember when he came on the pitch for the second half, I don't remember who it was against. It was both Pinsoglio and Buffon was like screaming at him and like giving him confidence, shoving him up his ass. You are good enough. You are this, you are that. But as you say perfectly well, Alex, I do agree with you, is that at Juve, we are in a win now mode. This is such a big club. We are in a win now mode. If you can't cut it here, if your mentality is weak, if you can't handle it, you're never going to be a good world-class player. So if I'm Bernardeschi, it doesn't matter how good I am or how bad I am. If I see that I cannot play consistently, you have two choices. Rather you leave and play for somebody else and fear that your salary will become slightly lower. But then again, you said, I mean, he's not going to starve. It's just like a couple of million at most. Or do you still sit on the bench, think about the future of your children or whatever, because this is a big money coming into your bank account, think about your retirement and so this is a choice you have to make. But if I'm Bernardeschi, I leave, man. I leave.
I mean, if you've made it to become a professional, why wouldn't you want to play? Why would you be happy sitting on the bench? If I was in his shoes, I would go. Even though I love Juventus, I would go to another team because I want to play. At the end of the day, this is your job, and if this is what you love to do, why would you want to just be practicing and never play? And then the other thing is, I don't know how Pirlo's playing him so much. Why is he getting all these opportunities? He's not. Maybe defensively he's been okay, but he's not showing anything to be like playing these games.
I mean, basically another body to use.
But that's kind of sad. Like we have else. You know, give a youth player the chance. Why are we going to focus on him?
Bernardeschi plays better for Italy because no one bosses him while playing for Italy, says Sayantan. But at senior guys like Cristiano commands everything, which makes him timid. Well, and again, that's a confidence issue, yes, so I do, in some way of some shape or form, I do agree with you, Sayantan. Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, I mean, we can bash them Bernardeschi the whole evening, but we're not going to do that. It's just tiresome. By the way, guys, thank you so much for joining this one. We'll continue. 1 hour mark has passed. Smash a like on this video, of course. And if you're not subscribing to Juve Therapy or That Culture Boy, which is the Juve YouTube channel of Alex, please do so. And of course, as John already did, please donate to highlight with your super chats, and I'll highlight your comment, and we'll talk about your topic for discussion. So moving on from Bernardeschi and all that, let's talk about Fagioli, shall we? Because Fagioli became one of those revelations many fans feel that he played good for under 23s, and we give him a chance to play for the first team. He played against Spal and did okay. I wouldn't say he played great, but he played okay. He did many mistakes, but we kind of forget about them because he's such a short player, red boots, long hair, flair. You know, it's very easy to like that guy. And to be fond of the way he plays, so you kind of forget all the mistakes that he made, and then you defend those mistakes by saying that he's a young guy. But Fagioli, Beans, as we like to call him, what do you feel about the guy, and do you think that he has the potential to become, well, I'm not going to say Lex Marquisio, it's the early days, but does he has the potential to become a starter at Juve at some point?
I think for us to say that, we're jumping the gun.
Yes.
I think it's still.
Thank you for reality check.
Yeah, it's still too early. Like, I mean, besides Spal, it's not like I watch Juventus under 23, religiously or anything like that. So he had a good performance, but until we start seeing him against Serie A opponents, I don't think we can really judge him. Everyone's saying to just play him as though he's gonna be, Pirlo in his prime. If he gets the opportunity, play him, but I don't know. Every time I think of these young midfielders, I think of players like Marone, who was supposed to be so good and coming from the youth system, and then they just end up at Crotone or something, or like they end up in Serie B. Allegri did point out that Fagioli has a lot of potential, but I don't think we should rush him into starting or anything like that. If he can play, let him play. But everyone wants him to play against Crotone, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see probably Betancourt is probably going to come back. He's not going to be injured, and then we're going to have McKennie start and do nothing, and then it's going to be Bernardeschi on the left and Chiesa on the right, and we're going to play a 4-4-2.
Yeah, it sounds plausible. Absolutely, yeah. And with Fagioli, we probably will see him during the game. I think maybe he will come on the from the bench and play like 10 minutes or something. But I don't really think that this is what we're gonna, what we expect when people say that we will see him play. When we see him play, we'll see him just run around and play ball for 5 minutes. Okay, fine, but that's just not enough. What I want to see from him is, of course, continuity. If he is playing 90 minutes, I want to see him play the full 90. I want to see him to deserve to play those 90. Not because there are injuries and we just have to play him, but that actually deserves it. Yep. And nobody knows. I don't know this. You don't know this. Pirlo is probably the only one who knows if Fagioli deserves it, because he looks and watches this guy every single day on the training session. So, yeah, we'll just see. We'll see what happens with the guy. But, I think he has talent. But,
for sure we should keep him, but I don't. Everyone that wants him to play, I don't know if that's going to happen right away. Like you said, 5-10 minutes here at the end of the game. If we're winning, we need rotation. Okay, but right now against Crotone, we have to win that game.
Yes.
So if we're playing Fagioli, unless we think we're going to win with him, I think we should be playing our strongest team that we have available.
Yeah, that is true. He has the potential, of course, but I think fans now will see him make mistakes and bash him as sent. Yeah, well, this is the reality of being at Juve, unfortunately. We are a big club, and there is no room for mistakes. I mean, if you're playing at Parma, touching on Kulusevski real quick in a bit, but you can make mistakes. It's okay to lose a game if you're playing at Parma, Bologna, whatever. It's natural almost. There is no pressure, like we talked about Bernardeschi. But with Fagioli playing for Juve, one mistake and you will be crucified, like Bentancur against Porto. So yeah,
and it destroys the player's confidence. Also, that's the problem with social media too. Like Bernardeschi, for example, he always gets hate all over social media, and I understand why people are frustrated, but imagine being a player and then that's what you constantly see. I
really hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't open Twitter every time.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, that would be very bad. Yes, and well, to be fair, he may very well do that, and unfortunately, or maybe some of his mates do that and just pitch it to him. This and that was said about you, and they hate you. And of course, the journalists. Tutto Sport, Corriere, and so on. They focus on the drama. So imagine the hate Bentancur got the day after Porto game. For sure. There's got to be some hate. But touching on Kulusevski there, Alex, this is another loan with option to buy or obligation or whatever. But this came out of nowhere 1 year ago. Great season for Parma. Starts for them, plays well. Did not play at all for Atalanta. I think he only played for their Primavera side.
Yeah, he didn't play.
And then he plays for Parma, plays great, and then Juve buy him or loan him, and then now he performs at average at most, and all the big games which I see him he's playing, and all the big games has basically been crap, and even against smaller sides there have been glimpses of Kulusevski from Parma. That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree. And Kulusevski, if you have to play him, where do you play him?
So I'm pretty sure they bought him, didn't they? I think it was 40 million.
It's a loan.
Oh, it's a loan?
It's a loan obligation to buy.
Oh, okay. But so just another
from Atalanta.
Yeah, creative accounting.
Oh yeah.
But so I think it's still too early to determine how he is as a player. But up until this point, I don't think he's been that great. I don't think he's a striker, and I don't think he should be played with Ronaldo up front. And I think if we have to play him anywhere, I think we should see him more like a trequartista, more like an offensive midfielder. I don't think he's fast enough to be a winger. So
I'm sorry, I just have to laugh at this comment from Willie. Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I think Kulusevski still doesn't have a made position. He kind of reminds me like Dybala in the sense that they're going to keep tinkering with him and putting him in different positions, and they're just not going to find a spot for him. And
why do you think he's performed so well for Parma and suddenly he doesn't show that same form for Juve? Is it because of a different formation? Is that it?
I think it's expectation. When you're at Parma, what is your expectation? You're not fighting to win the Scudetto. You know, you just go on the field. If you could get 3 points, if you could get 1 point, okay. But I think expectation has a lot to do with it, and I think maybe the formation. But it's just, I don't know. Yeah, but that's like Dybala. He has no right foot either.
Yeah. Well, Merda would disagree because he scored against them.
That's true.
Ashley Young would disagree. Cashley Young. Yeah, but I mean, yes, it is sad, but they all look alike. Kulusevski, Bernardeschi, Dybala. It's all those left-footed players. They always cut inside from the right, and this is their natural position.
Yep.
And Kulusevski will always drift out wide, no matter where you play him. Adam wants him to be playing behind the strikers, but I don't think he would like that. I think he would actually drift out wide, just like Dybala would, unfortunately.
And the thing, bringing that up, I think Kulusevski behind the strikers would be probably his best position, because I think he has I think he could do something back there. He's creative as a player. I think the problem with him is he's not a fast player, but he's tricky. Same thing with Dybala. I don't understand how Dybala started moving to the wing.
He's always done that. That's the thing. It's a strange thing.
But not when he first started. When he was at Palermo, he was a striker.
Yeah, support. Yeah, support striker. Yes.
Yeah, and then he slowly kept shifting to the right side, and I don't understand that, because Dybala is another one. Dybala is not a fast. He's not he doesn't have super fast pace. He's just tricky, and he has the low center of gravity, so he can just twist and turn. And Kulusevski's the same.
This is, I mean, if you play Parma, right, you have, you're playing against, most of the time, you're playing against an opposition who will not sit back. They will attack. They will play an open game, which means Kulusevski will have space around him. Same with Dybala. He has space while he was playing for Palermo. He had space around him, so he can move more freely. But when you're playing at Juve, you are playing essentially against a tactical side who will play either very high up the pitch to block out all the open spaces, or
11 men behind the ball.
11 men behind the ball, which is difficult to play against if you are in the middle of it all. This is why I think people like Dybala, Kulusevski, and Bernarski will always drift out wide to find space.
But see, the thing
yeah.
that I disagree there, I completely agree with the point, but then if you as a player are not able to create space or break down that kind of pressure or that kind of line, then you're just not good enough as a player. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because this is, if you're supposed to be the creative outlet or you're supposed to score and you can't do that, then you're just maybe not as good as people think you are or you think you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at Ramsey, for example. Ramsey could be like example to what we want to see. If you play Ramsey consistently, I think actually he would do some damage. Unfortunately, he's injury prone. So Ramsey is the guy we're actually talking about right now. If you use this comment from Adam and just remove the Parma thing, I'd like to see Ramsey behind the strikers consistently. That would be, because Ramsey is the guy in the middle. He doesn't shy away. He doesn't hide on the flanks and trying to find space. He creates space by those runs.
And he did it at Arsenal. And
he did.
I was looking forward to him joining, but Juventus love their injuries.
Yes, they love the free transfers, don't they?
That too.
Rohit, one-footed players struggle to lay off the passes with weak foot to strikers as a number 10, so they can be marked easily. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point, Rohit. Azijon, Kulusevski once said, I don't know if that's true. Maybe very well. Dybala does things you only see on PlayStation. He likes Dybala and he wants to be like him. So this is why it's hard to fight position for them. Well, I don't think you can play both of them. I don't know, Alex, if you agree with that. Can you play both Dybala and Kulusevski at the same time?
I don't know how you would line it up. Unless Dybala is next to Ronaldo, then is Kulusevski behind them?
Well,
I don't
see it.
Because if you have Dybala and Kulusevski in the lineup, they both occupy the right-hand side of the field. So you would just have them running into each other.
Exactly.
And then you have Ronaldo on the left-hand side and no one in the box. Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Mohammed had a comment further up. He has a suggestion to a 4-3-3 formation with Dybala, Cristiano, Morata up front, Arthur, Chiesa, McKennie in the mid. Whew. That's offensive, man. And De Ligt, Demiral, Cuadrado, Danilo in defense. That is a crazy offensive lineup, my man. Who's going to defend?
If we're going to play a 4-3-3, I think Dybala is dropped to the bench. Chiesa, Morata, Ronaldo up top. I think that's the only way it works.
And if we are going to use Dybala, we're going to use him as a prima punta, but like not a prima punta, but like a
false
deep. Yes, exactly. And then Cristiano can cut inside from the left, and Chiesa can do whatever he wants from the right with Cuadrado behind him. That could actually be a very exciting option with Cuadrado as a right back and Chiesa as a right winger. Because Chiesa was born as a right winger. He is so natural there.
And I hate that he's on the left consistently.
Me as well, my friend. All right, guys. Just keep up coming with your questions and with your comments. I love this. You have much on your plate, and this is so good to see. So if we are back to the present day and where we are, yes, Isco. People are mentioning Isco, but I think it's too late now. He was good, but we need a guy who can play consistently, who has played consistently already, who is fresh, and that's not going to be cheap if we're going to go for a midfielder who can create space going forward. But now we're 2-1 down to Porto. We're playing Crotone, Crotone on Monday. And we have no game until Saturday. So we have Crotone on Monday, and then we have next game against Hellas Verona away on Saturday evening. First of all, Crotone for coming up. Who do you start against Crotone, Alex?
So my whole starting 11?
Yeah, for example.
Okay, so
bear in mind that we have a bunch of injuries.
Yeah. So I think Szczesny in goal. The back. No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a big person like with the rotation of keepers, unless you're saying like Buffon only in Copa, and okay, but I don't. I don't know what kind of benefit. I don't think keepers are the ones that really get tired that much. But all right, who cares? Buffon or Sheffield, it doesn't matter.
It's Olio. Okay, next.
I don't know about that, but so then, probably going to be Alexandro De Ligt, Demiral, and Danilo in the back, in my opinion. And then if Betancourt is like okay and he's not injured, I think it's going to be a 4-4-2. So it's going to be Berna on the left, Betancourt, McKennie, if he's okay, and then Chiesa on the right, and then it's going to be Kulusevski, Ronaldo, because I don't think Morata's over the flu. Unless he's over the flu, I think Morata starts instead of Kulusevski. But I think that's what we say.
And you know what's sad about the lineup that you just gave me? We have no options.
No,
we have to start this lineup. The only question is, of course, Morata or Kulusevski.
Unless for real we see Fagioli, but I don't think it's gonna be.
It will be surprising, very surprising. This is as you perfectly well said so previously. I mean, this is a must-win. There's no question. This is a must-win. I have enough of this BS with draws and losses. I want to win the rest of the season. Every single game is a win now. I don't know whether we like it or not. This is the reality because Merda, and people can say that Merda are not favorites, but in reality, they are.
They're the only ones that I see winning besides if Juventus could win it.
Yeah.
I don't think Milan is having an extraordinary season, but they are overachieving crazy. Like that team is not good.
Well, Spezia backed them, so there we go. So they're just starting, and of course they have also the Europa League to think about. They drew yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So
isn't the derby on the weekend too?
It is indeed. It will be Sunday or Saturday. I don't know. I think it's Sunday. Yes.
And I think Inter wins that.
Well, that's the thing with derbies. It's completely open. It could, for us, of course, the best thing to do would be a draw.
Yeah.
But,
we can hope.
We can hope, of course, yes. So, yeah, this is the lineup. And your prediction then? Go crazy.
1-1.
Man.
I don't... Honestly, with the squad that I just named, I don't have confidence.
That is sad.
And what did we do against Crotone in the first game?
We did the 1-1.
So...
Alex, that culture boy, is predicting a draw at home against Crotone, which is completely realistic. It could very well happen.
I think mentally I think Juventus are really suffering right now.
I would burn if that would happen after the full-time whistle.
I might quit YouTube. I might have like an aneurysm or something.
Azejon, we're on 1-1. Azejon agrees with you. What is happening? Guys, fino alla fine. What is this?
I mean, I say 1-1 now, and then in a day I'll be like, oh yeah, easy. We win 4-0.
3-1, yeah.
Yeah, but...
It's Crotone, man. It's Crotone. It's not Lazio. It's not Merda. This is Crotone. But, yes, you know what? We struggled against Crotone before. We struggled against freaking Benevento. We struggle against everyone. And as I always say, it doesn't matter who we face. We can beat anybody if we are switched on and we are aware of what is going on, actually. But we can draw against Crotone. We can draw against Benevento. We can lose to Fiorentina 3-0. Man. My prediction, guys, I don't know. Alberto 3-1, much more calming. Prediction 1-1 from Rohit, and then Cristiano win 2-1. Well, my prediction would be actually a clean sheet, so I go 2-0, and that's it.
Hopefully you're right and I'm wrong.
Hopefully, well, anything. I mean, 1-0, but performance is equally as important, Alex, isn't it?
We definitely need a better performance, specifically not only in this game, just in every game going forward, because we've as Juventini have been saying that every game we have to win, and we lost to Napoli. Porto, okay, it's Champions League, so it's a different story. But if we want to stand a chance in the Scudetto, we can't keep dropping points because Inter. Wow.
Wow.
Hold on. For that 5-1, who's scoring?
Who's scoring? Yeah. Well, Cristiano awakes suddenly from his slumber.
Maybe
Bags.
two goals from Ronaldo. But
well, where is Joshua in the chat? Because Joshua is one of the fanboys of Bonucci. So maybe Bonucci comes suddenly in from the bench, suddenly is healthy and then scores 2 overhead kicks. But in reality, 5-1, I don't see that happening.
Me either. Hold on, the picture is Ozil, and is that whose hair is that? David Luiz's hair?
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it's an Arsenal boy.
Oh, okay.
5-1, yeah.
That's optimistic then.
That's okay. But I love this. That's fine. It's okay. We believe, but unlikely.
Yeah.
And yes, Rohit, you are correct. Cristiano was missing that time. He did not play against Crotone. So yes, it could actually may very well be that he scores against them.
Even if he does, I don't see any, like, if our midfield is just Betancourt and McKennie, I don't know how they're gonna hold down the play. It's gonna be the same thing like we saw against Porto, that it's just gonna be wide open in the middle.
We didn't win the last 3 games, says Alejandro. Yeah, we didn't. That's true. That is true. Fagioli starts playing Shaolin soccer. Well, we'll see. Felix Correa. I don't know much about him, to be honest, Forza Juve. I see people praise him and loads of praise towards this guy, but have you seen him, Alex?
No, I've seen highlights, but
yes, but this is not YouTube. This is real life. So
I mean, he came from City, right? He was a City.
Yes. Yeah.
But
who knows better? I mean, Forza Juve. Who knows it better than Pirlo himself? Because Pirlo watches these guys every day. So if this guy comes from Man City and doesn't even start, he didn't even play against Spal. He was on the bench. It wasn't used. So that must mean something. So I don't know.
He's still young, though. Isn't he like 17?
Yeah, he's crazy young. Yeah, it's a young lad. Yes, Mohamed. Pirlo is the best midfielder of the generation. One of the best, at least. And we struggle in the mid the most. He doesn't get it. Yeah, well, we already discussed this, but we can repeat ourselves. It's not like Pirlo can copy and merge himself into another Pirlo. We have no Pirlo in our squad, do we, Alex?
Not at all. I think Pjanic was probably the closest thing we had, like last year. But because right now, when you think of the midfielders we have, not even Arthur makes passes like that. He can't do over the top.
Well, Pirlo is what Bentancur wants to be.
See, and that's crazy because we saw Betancourt make a pass like that over a few times, and I know you don't seem to be his biggest fan, but I liked him I like him as a player, but
who?
Betancourt.
No, man. Wait.
Oh wow, okay. I thought you didn't like him.
No, I adore Benta. The only reason I bash the guy is because of his freaking inconsistency.
Yeah.
This is a very annoying, and the lapses in concentration and the fact that he does not learn from his mistakes.
I think he has potential to be such a good midfielder, but it's almost like Bernardeschi. It's like it's like a mentality thing that I don't know.
Yeah. Well, again, he's a young lad, right? So but
he's been here for a few years already.
He has, but he has no. Well, that's also wrong to say because he has people to look up to. Freaking Pirlo. Who else is gonna teach him something to do? But I don't know. This is a mentality issue. I mean, this pass that he makes after 56 seconds against Porto, it doesn't take Pirlo to teach him not to do that. Freaking my grandmother can tell him not to do that pass, not to make that pass. This is not about Pirlo or not Pirlo. This is about the mental state of the guy. And this should stop. This crap from him needs to stop. Sirat, will Milinkovic-Savic and Luis Alberto be good midfield options? Yes, in my opinion. I don't know, Alex, if you agree.
I would say yes too. I'd like Alberto a lot.
I love Alberto.
Yeah. I don't think it's realistic because Lotito, I don't think he's going to sell up. Maybe did you see that they're saying that Lazio could be relegated because of the tampering with? I don't know how official if this is real.
Yeah, I saw that.
If it's true, I mean, they already got caught with Immobile that he tested positive and then he played and then I don't know. So if it's true, we try to get them.
Well, Milinkovic-Savic, I think Milinkovic-Savic would work very well in a 3-man midfield. I do not think he would work as good as a 2-man midfield, for example. No. But he is a great addition, physical presence, and big game player, whether you like it or not. He is average against smaller sides, but I always tend to see that as soon as Lazio play against good sides, both of those guys, Luis Alberto and Milinkovic-Savic, are present and are great. So yeah, it won't be easy though. It won't be easy.
Yeah, I don't see it ever happening. I think we have a better chance of getting Pogba back.
We love you, Alberto, but it's not we weren't talking about you. Man, that's funny. Yes, he loves yellow cards too. That is true, Bamsancourt, yes. But to be fair though, he stopped with that one recently.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten any as of late. Between Inter, the last like 3-4 games, he hasn't picked one up. But maybe that against Porto, he wasn't really doing much besides, the horrible pass.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah. Well, this is a sad reality. It's a sad reality. And Porto game then. Let's finish up. We gotta sooner or later gonna close up this stream. But Porto, do you think we're gonna turn this around?
I don't think so. I just like the Crotone game. I'm not that confident. I could see it happening, but whenever pressure is against Juventus, especially in Champions League, and we need to score, it just never seems to happen. We end up like conceding or like tying. I could see the game being 1-1 or like 2-2, and we get kicked out.
Yeah, well, I'll sit on the bench on this one and just wait and see what happens with all the injuries and where do we see.
Let me do that too.
Yeah, please. I mean, we can see if Bonucci is back, if Cuadrado is back, if guys like it's optimistic, it's not going to happen. But if Arthur returns for some miraculous reason, then we can hope for something. If Morata gets back to form.
If
Dybala wakes up suddenly. Yeah, it is strange. It is strange how it is now, and we're so reliant on injuries. Alex is so negative. Well, Pierre,
I think as a Juventus fan, I'm optimistic.
It is reality, unfortunately, and we're a lot. I mean, negative. Well, you looking at one, Mr. Pierre. I'm freaking negative myself. I didn't think we're gonna win the Scudetto this year. I still don't think so, to be honest.
I don't think so either.
It pains me to say it, but we made too many mistakes already. Crotone, Benevento, Verona, Fiorentina loss. Those are costly.
Yeah, and even the Napoli game, because that game should not have been a loss. It should have been a draw at the most. At the least, actually.
Who can fix our midfield? Yeah, let's talk about this one. It's interesting. Aziz-Jean, who can fix? Let's go forward. Locatelli, yes. There are talks about Locatelli coming to Juve next season. Will he be a solution, Alex?
I would say, yeah. I think Locatelli at the minimum has to come. But I think we need 3 new players.
And please say no to this question, but do you want Pogba back?
I would take him depending on who else comes.
Man.
So, because honestly, if we got Pogba, for example, I hated the way he left, and I'll never forgive him for that. But Pogba walks into our midfield. Like, who would play over Pogba in our midfield right now? No one. I mean, besides Arthur, but if there's 3 midfielders, I think Pogba takes one of those spots.
Well, if you have the money to get Pogba.
How much do you think it's going to cost?
Well, first of all, we have another. He has a contract of 1 year left in his contract, so
Yep.
His cost would be, I don't know. That's just crazy talk. We don't know, but let's say.
I say 50, 60 million.
Let's say 50, 60, fine. But then you have the luxury, crazy money of wages.
Yeah.
And then you have to look at the bigger pictures here and say, you have 50, you get Pogba. But what if you have 50 and you don't get Pogba and you get someone else instead? Locatelli also walks into our side.
Yep.
Aouar probably also walks into our side. Freaking De Paul, most likely, instead of Weston McKennie. Probably, because even De Paul has engine and knows how to create.
But are those players good enough?
Yeah, well, that's the question.
I think Locatelli for sure. I think the thing I'm scared about is he's Italian, and I think already people are starting to rate him higher. So they're like, he's Italian, he's great. That's kind of the mentality that Italians have, specifically with Italian players. But I think Locatelli would improve the midfield because he would be like your regista kind of. But then I don't know who else. Like De Paul probably, but is he gonna make the midfield that much better?
Well, I think he has the traits to do something that we lack. But again, the quality. If we're playing against big sides in the European stage, do I actually think that Locatelli, Aouar, and De Paul midfield will be good enough? Maybe. They can work together, but the name in itself isn't enough. I think also you could look at the whole thing, the whole situation in the midfield. Just look at Bentancur, how much better he is with Arthur, right? So you have to consider that as well. But if we look isolated only on De Paul, what can he provide? He can provide engine. He can provide fight, grinta. He is the captain of Udinese's side. So I guess leadership, and also the fact that he loves Dybala. Always an interesting.
But what if we get rid of Dybala?
Yeah, well, that doesn't even matter right now. Just it doesn't affect us at all.
No, but I'm saying if Dybala is gone, will he still come?
Dybala.
Maybe he'll fall on Dybala.
I mean, that's also a good question. If Juve come knocking at your door, if you are a Serie A player, a random Serie A player, would you go to Juve? For De Paul, this would be a step up, no doubt.
Yeah.
But would it be too big? And would it be beneficial for him? If it's too big, then he will be benched. And for us, if we're gonna spend on De Paul, he's gonna cost us. There is no doubt about it.
Him and Locatelli, you're both talking about like around 40 million each.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. Obviously, if you need to improve, but I think if we get those two players, that's it. We don't get anybody else in the midfield.
I don't think we don't have anybody else. Period. I mean, that's it. This is our transfer market. We're done. Because then we'll be short on strikers still.
But see, that's the thing. To not get away from this topic, but I still think we need like another fullback, at least two. Alexandro, I think you need a backup, or at least, or someone to replace him.
Well, yeah. Well, we keep dreaming. Well, it's not going to happen. We can just forget about it. But we keep dreaming about Pellegrini coming back. But you can forget about this.
Yeah.
I never made the sense of that deal with Spinazzola leaving. But this is the reality. We have Alexandro playing there, and he's not getting any better, unfortunately. Would you cash in on him after this season? Yes, if there were offers. But are there any offers? I don't see anything.
I doubt it.
So we're stuck. I hate to get back to that point with the argument, but COVID, man, it screws us up completely. We cannot sell. We cannot buy. And if we sell, we're going to sell below the value of the player. High. Yeah. Sad. It is sad. But yes, John, it's a great take. I mean, this is like FIFA career mode midfield. But if this is the reality for the future, well, I'll take it. But I don't think Pogba will be coming, to be honest. I think it will be Spanish La Liga, if not
PSG.
the contract. Well, maybe PSG as well. Yeah, could be. Gosens, says Gladiator Man. Yeah, that's an interesting guy to mention. Gosens from Atalanta, gonna cost us tons of money as well, because when you're balling for somebody, and well, you will be expensive.
I like him, but the thing that I don't understand about Gosens is I don't think he's a fullback. I feel like he's a winger playing left wing back.
He's an engine. He's absolute unit. He runs like crazy.
Yeah.
He's German, man.
Yeah.
He has lungs from I don't know, from Second World War.
But I feel like he's more offensive, way more offensive than defense. I mean, if he's like Chiesa, fine, and he could defend.
He is. I watched Atalanta quite a bit. So both of them, Hateboer and Gosens, they are very offensive.
Yep.
But those guys, I love watching Atalanta. To be honest, they are fearless going forward, and it looks also so easy what they do. And this is also a good point if we're talking about Atalanta. If you take away Gosens from Atalanta, if you take, I mean, Pasalic, this guy, Pessina, the new upcoming guy.
Yep.
If you take them out of that unit of Atalanta, do they actually improve Juve, for example? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they're players made for the system.
Exactly. This is a system players. Yep. So
I think they would struggle.
Alejandro Gomez, Papu Gomez, well, maybe the exception. Like he works brilliantly for Sevilla, apparently.
Yeah. But the thing that's funny about Gomez is everyone rates him, but he used to play at like Catania under Montella, and he was not this type of player.
He's definitely a late bloomer.
Exactly, and I think Gasperini is part of the reason why he was able to become the player he is today. Instead, people are saying that Gomez is this like world-class player that made Atlanta become good. I think it's the opposite.
They are very fine without him.
Yep.
Ilicic is world-class right now.
Yeah. I would, if we could get that Pessina guy, maybe that could be an option. He's been doing well for them.
Yeah. We're forgetting Romero out on loan at Atalanta, the best defensive midfielder in the league. Well, he is a defender.
Yeah. And I think there's an obligation for him to buy.
Yeah, well, even if he does come back, he won't play.
Especially if you still have Chiellini and Bonucci here. De Ligt and Demiral are not even playing.
I mean, De Ligt's thighs not going to allow Romero even never near Continassa. Man, those things are huge, by the way, Alex.
Yeah. And he's 21. He's crazy.
He's 21, yeah. Yeah. Zaniolo was our solution. Well, yes, unfortunately, ACLs, man. ACLs were a hit. But yeah, Zaniolo was exciting player, and that's the one that got away. It's too early to say, but we don't know what's going to happen with him once he comes back. But that's the thing with Atalanta again, guys. If we take them out of that system, would they be good for Juve? I'm not sure. I don't think so. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to say with Zaniolo, he's very much a player that I would have looked at and maybe brought in, but they wanted like 70 million, and hasn't he had already like 3 ACL tears? Like 2. 2, and that, especially at his age, that it could be another Rossi kind of situation that he had like 4 or 5 of them.
Giuseppe Rossi.
Yeah. And you know, there was so much talent with with him, and he just couldn't. His body couldn't let him do it.
That's true. Yeah. Alberto wants Donnarumma. Well. And Pierre, we don't need a goalkeeper. I do agree we don't need a goalkeeper, but Donnarumma, why would he leave Milan at this moment? If I'm Donnarumma, why would I leave Milan? They are building something there, and Mino Raiola, man, that's just a beehive.
Yeah.
But with Donnarumma coming in, he would not sit on the bench.
No,
He
you would
will-
have to
He would have to start, and then you have to sell Chesney. And why? I mean, Chesney is a good goalkeeper. The way we play out from the back, that's what hurts him. And the fact that he's not that great at commanding his box. Yeah.
No. But the thing, if we're going to speak about playing out from the back, I think Donnarumma is worse with his feet.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen much of Milan, but yeah, could very well be. But he hasn't still re-signed his contract.
Yeah, I don't agree with it because I think Chesney's a great player, and I don't feel the need to replace him. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got Donnarumma for free, and then we sell Chesney for like 40 million.
Well, that would be easy money actually.
It could happen, especially if we don't have money this season. Juventus are going to start thinking like that, you know.
But I've seen no talks about that whatsoever.
Last year though, they were speaking that Juventus.
Last year there was rumors, yes, indeed. I fear De Ligt leaving Juve because of our lack of performance. That could may well be, Mohamed. As soon as Chiellini and Bonucci retire, or maybe even before that, he kind of, what do I do here? I have nothing to learn. And now I need to win trophies. I mean, sorry, man. I'm leaving. And that could very well be, but I hope not. I hope De Ligt stays for years.
I don't think so, because if that was his motivation to leave, he would have left Ajax because he would have always won there. Like if you go to Juventus, I think he genuinely wanted to go to Juventus, and I don't think he gives up after a season of no trophy.
No, I think the reason he said so himself, the reason he went to Juve was because he knew the best at the game were playing at Juve, and the game basically being the defending. Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli, GG for that matter. He learns from the best, and that's perfectly fine. But once those guys are gone, Barzagli is nowhere now. Buffon will be retiring soon. Chiellini is injury prone. I think he would say, I have nothing more to learn here.
But then where's he gonna go to learn?
Well, Barca.
Barca's defense is
no. He's got the defending. He's got the defending now. Now he's gonna improve his. Well, that's the De Jong will be calling.
I think De Jong's gonna leave.
I don't know. Let's see.
I think
Barca is a shambles anyway.
Yeah, they don't even have money, so that's not even an option.
Well, you can ask Pessi about that. Guys, are you guys confident for the Porto game? Well, Alex, no. I don't know. I'm not confident. I'm not non-confident. I'm just waiting to see what happens with the injuries, Sherwin, before I make my judgment. Romero in Serie A, 2 assists, 1 goal. So yeah, not much basically.
I mean, not for nothing. I don't care if my center backs are assisting goals.
It's not a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Teun Coop Miners. Do I know him? No idea. Do you know him, Alex?
I think I heard about him on FIFA.
Yeah, well, there we go.
That's about it.
I think he could be an affordable alternative to Arthur. Similar play style. Well, that's interesting. Even broke into the Dutch team as a rotation player. Well, okay, Steve. Give a call to Paratici then. Because I have no idea who that is. Nicolo Rovella will be great for us next season. Well, Nicolo Rovella will be staying at Cagliari next season as well.
Genoa,
yeah, sorry. Keep mixing those two up. Rovella will be staying at Genoa until the end of next season.
Yeah, 2022.
So, 2022, yeah. So it'll be a while before we see him. Cristiano also asked De Ligt to join Juve. Yeah, well, I don't think it's only that that made it, but yeah, I get your point, Rohit. Yeah. All right, guys, we're closing in on the 2 hours. We're gonna end this stream soon. On Sunday, before you leave, guys, on Sunday we have a special treat for you. I will be joined by Mr. Guido Vacciago, who is a journalist for Tutto Sport, amongst others. He's writing newsletters about Juve, and we're going to have a chat with him about a situation similar to this one. About Juve, be a short one. It will be a half hour because it's all we got time for. Busy man, Tutto Sport, and all that jazz. So I'll be excited to see what he has to say about situation at Juve. So remember to join on Sunday evening because we will not be playing on Sunday. We're playing on Monday evening. So yeah, the stream will be announced. I think I'll do that tomorrow. So you guys can already mark it down in your calendar. Sunday specials, as Adam. Yes, indeed, it will be a special one. I'm waiting for big names coming to this channel, and there we go. Guido is coming on Sunday, so there we go. Very exciting. I'm very excited. This one, of course, and Discord server. Remember to join in on that one as well. The links are in the description below. Alex has a YouTube channel as well. I will write that down. It's DAT Calcio Boy. Man, I love the name. This is his YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and I love his takes. His we spent almost 2 hours talking about Juve without tearing each other apart, which is always refreshing. So it's a Juve therapy session. I think we got I think we feel better about ourselves, don't we, Alex? I think we got it off our chest.
Yeah, I think so too. But according to some of the comments, I'm very negative. So maybe I was a little too honest.
Nah, man, this is the whole point. Be honest, and these guys are good lads. Rohit and the gang, they are good lads. So it's totally fine. All right, guys. Why not get Goat Lingard? And on that note, we're gonna end the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Lingardinho is playing for West Ham now, and or Villa. I think it's West Ham.
West Ham, I think so.
West Ham, yeah. Man, let's just stay. If he comes, then I would stay far away from Pogba, man. Those two together, those Lingard and Pogba together, no.
If Lingard comes, I might have to stop watching.
No, well, I will deactivate my Instagram account.
He's, I don't know. I don't think he's at Aston Villa. I don't know, but at the end of the day, he has a lot. I read about him that he has a lot off the field. And I respect him in that case, but as a footballer, I don't want him at Juventus. So
no way. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to Alex. It's been a real pleasure. We might do it again sometime, definitely. I hope you enjoyed yourself, Alex.
I did.
Good.
Thank you for having me again.
Sure, never, anytime. Okay, guys, smash a like on this video, subscribe as always, and we'll see you on Sunday for Guido Vacciago. That name will be hard to pronounce. On Sunday, and of course Monday night football against Crotone. We're gonna win 10-0.
10-0. Okay.
Not gonna happen.
1-1.
1-1 is his prediction. My prediction is 2-0, but we'll see. Fino alla fine, guys, and ciao. Thanks for joining.